Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sulk stream. I'm your host, the incredible Sulk, the mediocre Sulk, the gay e-bike rider. I don't give a shit what you call me. I just hope you're doing good and you had a good day. Thanks for coming and welcome. I'm glad that we get to move on from last week. It was a rough week, and I want to do something more fun. And but knowing me, I know I'm just gonna get into weird rants and like feel very strongly about certain opinions and express those with like fervor, and and like just very much from the soul. So I want to have fun. Will I? I don't know. That's a tough question. Because I don't know. I don't know what the Sulk stream has in store for me night after night, It is it's a crapshoot. Sometimes it can be very somber and like poignant, and other times it could be absolute nonsense and basically like a mental disorder, right? Like schizophrenia, ADD, whatever you want to label it as. OCD, yeah, I've had those shows and you know it. Yeah. I hope we have a fun one. That's what I want. And I want you guys to help me with that. It's your job to make me have fun. Sure, donos are nice, but I'd rather have fun. I'm just going to be completely honest with you guys, because that's really what I do this for. Because I don't know if you guys know, the money ain't great. It ain't bad. Trust me, it ain't bad. It's not great, though. But I come back night after night, every single night, more or less, to have a good time with you guys. To make some jokes and laugh and, talk about nonsense and bullshit. And every time I throw up a video, it is darker, it seems. Like I've been talking a lot more about the fate of society and like how the future is just kind of like withering away and stuff. And it is. Don't get me wrong; those are fair points, and like I would consider them accurate. Sure. But I also want to have fun, It's just there's so much going on. There's so much to cover. There's so many key points in history that are important. And then we have to talk about them. We have to, see how they relate to our situation in general and see how we can make things better. That's also another goal, right? It's not about all just fun and laughs or misery and what the future may hold and bullshit. It's a lot about fun, too. Or making society better. I don't know. Welcome to the Sulk stream, guys. Tonight we're talking about a childless future. Dinks. Assholes who think they don't need kids. They don't need to continue the lineage that thousands and thousands of generations before them have brought them to this point. And how? I don't know. A lot of them are stupid and a lot of them are ugly, but that's not me to decide. But you're here, right? So you being here automatically gives you this responsibility to continue. Whether that's a good idea or not, that's not on me. And you might be really stupid and you might be really ugly, but the vast majority of people really aren't that. There's a subset of like very, very low quality genetics, but they seem to be reproducing the most. And most people, the middle of the road, the top of the bell curve, seem to just be like, well, I don't need kids, and I don't want to bring them into this terrible world because it's just a terrible world, and I'd rather have my Funko Pops and my video games and all my bullshit and just waste your life away. So maybe that's what the point of this show is going to be just essentially wasting your life. Another fun one. Classic Sulk. Classic Sulk. Who would have thought with a name like Sulkstream, I would be such a bummer all the time. Yeah, well, you guys keep coming back. So, I don't know. Maybe there's something to it. Anyways, get comfy. Get cozy. Get a nice bottle of something nice. If you need alcohol, I understand. If you need water, that's better. If you're working, keep working. And if you are driving, please continue to drive safely. Get home. Hit the like button. Subscribe to my locals. Subscribe to my Rumble. Hit me on Ko-Fi. All those things. Follow my YouTube at Incredibly Sulky. These would all help spread the message, spread the word of the Sulk stream. That's important. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming. It is a Tuesday. I'm the Incredible Sulk. This is the Sulk stream. And this is called Why More Americans Are Going Child-Free. Enjoy.
We got married fairly young, and we both just decided for many reasons we didn't want kids.
Okay.
And then...
It's Aspen Gold. Aspen Gold, I like him. Apparently he's... He's made a lot of people angry, which I don't get, but we talked about this last night.
At some point, we heard the acronym DINK, and I think just really fell in love with it.
There are more
Knobs Dog, nice of you to arrive on time for once.
Americans that are deciding not to have children, and it's purposeful.
Yeah, so do they talk about how much
Knob, you're going to ruin the whole fucking show. I hope you know that.
money they owe in student loans, though? Because
Despite-
I think that usually that's a factor.
Brandon, your student loans are out of control, but yeah.
New trend has led to the rise of a new
Big
type
B,
of household, more commonly referred
Christian,
to as Dinks.
Lucas,
Dual income,
SB.
no kids.
Oh, yeah, dual
What's
income,
up,
no
everybody?
kids. That's perfect for us.
Renee's?
That's absolutely right.
Okay.
Children are the death of net worth. Pretty crude.
Children are the
but
death of net
honestly
worth.
Very true.
Well, yeah, it is true.
Look, kids are expensive. And look, we've been going through this entire Depop thing for a while now. Can we just all arrive at that conclusion? Depopulation is not a myth, right? We've all everyone does anybody think they are not actively trying to depopulate the planet? Does anybody actually think that? And yeah, there's a lot of people having a lot of kids, like Africans and stuff, and Indians, they're having tons of kids and shit, but Africans and Indians they don't do much. It just seems like, and maybe this is a thing about civilization or society, right? More advanced societies tend to have fewer children, and maybe we've gotten too advanced. I kind of doubt that, though.
No, that's accurate. Yeah.
Renee says, "Oh, thanks for tossing me in there at the end real quick." Yours is the last name I saw, Renee's. Sorry.
Configuration.
Sorry. All right, fine. God, Renee's is first, okay? Everybody, Renee's, you're number one.
Dual income partners.
Now look at all the jealous people that. Oh man, I did something there.
Living alone without children is on the rise. In 2022, is around 43%.
Households were...
Renee says maybe because they're about $1 bazillion a month. I have 2 kids. I put my kid in jujitsu today, right? And then they're all like, well, you could pay. You have to sign up for a year, right? And they're like, well, you could pay in advance and save $200. And I'm like, okay, well, how much is that? And they're like, that's $1,500. And I was like, oh. It's a $1,500 for jujitsu, and I was like, I went with a second plan, but it's still amazing. That's just for one thing too. That's from one kid,
dual income without,
and that's not even necessity or anything like that, right? That's not food. That's not shelter. That's not clothing or anything. That's just something for him to do. $1,500 for a year. It's insane.
children 2022. Holy shit, that sounds really bad, man.
You're gonna guess 1,200? No. So like the monthly payment was like $150 a month it was like it's less if you like pay for it all up front. But like I did some other plan where I'm not doing month to month. Some other thing, a middle one. I wasn't gonna slap down $1,500. I'm not doing that.
That's really, really fucking bad. Because like we're like, are we gonna have a population collapse? I mean, like,
Knobs Dog, you shut the fuck up.
Japan is having this problem.
All right.
Fuck.
Households, and that's about a 7% increase.
That is a lot for a kid's activity. But like, here's the thing: if you have kids these days, they kind of know you can afford it. I know poor people do have kids, kind of, but like if you're putting them in jiu-jitsu, they're all like, you have the money, and you do. Even if you really want to put them in jiu-jitsu. Or some bullshit like that. And I'm sure other things are just as expensive. I haven't put them in soccer or anything, but like, I don't know. Is soccer expensive? How expensive could soccer be? I bet it's more expensive than people realize.
Increase from a decade previously.
Rob says, don't talk to knobs like that.
43% of Americans surveyed said they want to get
all right, Rob.
but just a little more than a quarter said they were sure about wanting children.
At the term.
What's this here? 56% said they didn't want to have kids. That's
56%. 56% of people. Okay, so 56% of people said they didn't want kids. That is insane. So that means you're telling me that there is probably going to be a severe population drop. I mean, this goes without saying. 56%. Why? Because it's expensive? Yeah, it's fucking expensive. Do it anyway. Have more kids than you can afford. You will figure it out. I promise you. You'll figure it out. Kids are insanely expensive. They are. And I don't want to like push you off from having kids because obviously it's a great investment for all of us. Not just yourselves, but for all of us. But they do intentionally make it insanely. If you have a kid in the hospital, they'll slap you with like $1 million bill and just be like, oh, well, we wanted to make sure. Okay, well, now you're in debt for the rest of your life. And that's fucking scary. Even if you have good insurance, which most people don't have good insurance, like they'll just be like, we're going to take him to the NICU just because. And they'll scare you and they'll be like, he's going to die if we don't take him to the NICU. You really have to like stick to your guns and be like, no, he's fine. You have to look a doctor in the eye and you have to be like, you're wrong. I'm going to take my baby home because they will try to rob you. They're not looking out for your best interest. They're trying to pay a boat off. Okay. They don't give a fuck about you, especially OBGYNs. They're looking to cut you. They're surgeons. They want to cut you. They'll be like, oh, the baby's too big. We have to do a C-section. That's not true. I mean, usually in most cases, that's not true.
It's crazy. Oh my God.
Big P says, who's going to pay for our Social Security? LOL, that's not going to be a thing. Of course not. Even the boomers aren't going to get their full Social Security. Aren't they cutting it at like 2035? I'll tell you what, if I was anywhere near retirement age, I would be strongly considering going into retirement early just so I can get as many of those benefits as possible before they start to absolutely evaporate. Because, I mean, Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. And it costs the U.S. like $1 trillion a year just to keep up. And we're constantly paying into Social Security. But there's not like there's not a vault somewhere filled with Social Security money. This is ridiculous. Whenever I talk to boomers about this, they're like, well, I paid into it, so I deserve money out of it. It's not like they have a vault with your name on it that says this is all the money you paid into it. Every dime that you put into that Social Security system either went to people already drawing from it or some politician's pocket. It's gone. It is a Ponzi scheme. It would be illegal if anybody in any private party were to actually start and like do something like that. That would be a crime. But the U.S. government doesn't have to follow those laws, it can do whatever it wants.
That sounds really bad. Now, like, I think that maybe it's like, so I think about how does this...
Knob says they use that money on government investments. Investments? Yeah, it's like, hey, I have a toilet seat company. Oh, well, I can invest into your toilet seat company because I control the Social Security budget. So, and then his buddy who makes toilet seats gets millions of dollars, and then nobody gets any toilet seats.
Because, like, if you ask people that are 21, most people don't have kids at 21 anymore, right? Most people have kids between, like, 27 to, like, 40. I would say somewhere around there, 27 to 37. And so if you ask a lot of young people, then, yeah, I think that most of them would say no because they're not really in that position in life to want to have kids. So it depends on how...
Well, to have kids, you need to have a house, right? I mean, you don't need to have a house, but, like, it's better to have a house. Like, look, this comes down to, like, dating dynamics, right? Like, sexual market value and stuff. What do you see Tinder profile, like, time after time? They want the 666s. They 6 feet, 6 figures, 6 pack, or 6 inches, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But money is a major factor. And it's not even 6 figures anymore. Now it's like you have to make $1 million a year. And I'm like, people, it's like, you're fat and you already have 4 kids. And I'm not even sure, like, 2/3 of them are mulattoes. So that's no, you're not worth that. You are nowhere near worth that. That is an insane requirement. But for some reason, time after time, they all have that. But really, they just want a house. They want to be able to have some sort of security, which our generation is severely lacking in. Obviously. That and kids are just fucking expensive.
This poll was done, but that's still a very, very high percentage.
Christian says these days money is debt from its very genesis. That's been the case since like 1913. That has been the case for a long time. But the problem with today is that the Fed keeps pumping into the system to keep the system from collapsing. But it's not really keeping the system from collapsing. It's just kind of making the pain go on longer, right? There will be a collapse. There's no way the fiat currency is going to like just keep going up forever. That's not how it's going to work. But yeah, it's all debt. It's not real money. And we owe it to people that we're not even allowed to know. We don't know who we owe that to. Who owns the Fed? It's not a government. It's not federal. It is a private bank. Nobody knows who owns it.
It says in the future, though, yeah, but I don't think that a 20-year-old is going to have the introspection and the capacity to understand what they're really going to want in the future. Like, whenever I was 21, I felt amazing playing video games all day, doing literally nothing. And then some point around, like, I don't know, 24 or 25, I felt like, man, maybe I'm wasting my fucking life. And I still kept doing it.
I'll tell you what I was doing when I was 21. I was in a deep depression for, like, the first half of my 20s. And then I just kind of, like, fucked around. Then I started doing comedy when I was, like, 26 or 27. And then that seemed to work out pretty well. I gained a lot of traction doing that. And then yada, 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 here I am. I met Jess. We got married. Things happened. And I kind of landed in my situation. I could have been working some stupid bullshit job. I didn't want to do that. Obviously, I didn't give a shit about it. And now I'm here. Now I'm doing this.
Doing it. But I didn't enjoy it as much.
Which means just do whatever you want. That's what you should do. You should do whatever you want. As long as you can, like, maintain it, right? Don't go for security because you're not going to have it, right? If you, like, go and take a job because this job is, like, a good, solid, foundational job, And like they're going to give you like a pension and there's a 401k and you know, it's a nice steady job, right? And then you give up all your dreams and like any talent that you actually had goes absolutely to waste because you wanted that good solid foundation, right? Because you wanted to raise a family or some bullshit like that. I'm not saying it's bullshit, but you know what I mean. And then you get canned, right? You make it to like 45 years old where you can't start over again really realistically and like pursue your passions. Not saying you can't, but it's going to be a lot harder. But you went into that job in the first place for security. So you can pay a mortgage. So you can saddle yourself with all kinds of debt for a bunch of shit you didn't need. And you did that. And you did that. And you still got screwed. You still got screwed. You don't know what the future is holding. This is why I get so upset, or like just not upset, just annoyed when people are like, I don't want to have kids because it's just so hard right now. It's just a bad world to bring kids in. Well, yeah. And are you sure it's going to be like that forever? Because like, you know, how are we going to make the world a better place if there are not more people to make the world a better place? It's just going to suck and then we're all going to die. So, like, you have this, like, weird nihilist attitude towards things. And then you carry that, not having kids, you carry that on with you. You carry that forever into your old age. And then you just become bitter and decrepit and just an absolute sore on society and the people around you. Just an absolute bundle of sticks. Literally a bundle. Something that has to be carried, that has given nothing to society, not even a good home for a future citizen. Nothing. Just Funko Pops and jerking off to hentai.
You know, so yeah, no, I think it happens. Like, it does.
Wanting children.
The term dink is becoming more prominent now because of financial challenges.
Yeah,
and
there
they
it
see
is.
children
That's
as
the
just
reason.
another financial challenge that maybe they
And you're ugly. That has nothing to do with anything, but I'm throwing that out there.
don't want to take on.
So what's it like to live with a dual income and no children?
Knob says my oldest son wants to buy an Amazon house and put it in the backyard. Let him. Do it. Absolutely. How much space do you have? How much property do you have? If you want to tell me. I mean, if he's got the... Do that. Yeah. I have an acre. And I'm going to build a house for each one of my kids. It's not going to be huge. And then I'm going to parse out every little bit. I wish I had more space. I do. But an acre ain't bad. An acre ain't bad. You know, if I give them each a quarter acre, you know, a fifth of an acre, something like that. I plan on having a lot of them. That ain't bad. That's something.
Children. And will it be the future of American households?
Of course it's not going to be the future of American households because that would be a problem that would work itself out pretty fast, huh? Like, you know, like that. It's kind of like a self-correcting problem.
According to a 2023 survey of Dinks, finance played a major role in their decision to not have children.
Yeah, there it is. That's the
More
reason.
than a quarter.
Duh. And why you got long hair like this, man? That's too much. Have long hair, fine. That's way too much, bro. That's feminine. Cut that shit. Cut it. Donate it to a cancer kid, right? Or I don't care what you do. Make ropes out of it. Make a catapult, like a trebuchet, out of your hair, like they used to do in the olden times.
Of respondents said
No,
they
these people have an. Oh my God, they have an Apple laptop.
Lucas Ardar says, being a white father is the best thing you could ever do. There you go.
Either
It's
they
worth it.
have
It really is worth it.
$100,000 in student loans, or they don't have any money in student loans. I feel like there's no in between.
simply aren't able to finance.
It's more than that, dude. I knew some people with like $250,000 in student loans. And they're like doing comedy. You're doing stand-up. You have you're $250,000 in debt in student loans. And you're doing stand-up comedy. Wow, you're fucking stupid. You're really, really... And he was bad. He was bad at it. So he was stupid. But like, he didn't know that. blissfully unaware. It seems nice.
Support a child.
Yeah.
Oh, except for you're $250,000 in debt.
Moment.
We advise clients about having children. We honestly don't.
And you don't have a house. You know, if you're $250,000 in debt, and at least you're going towards a mortgage or something like that, that's something. But if you have a piece of paper on the wall, like, look at my piece of paper. No, I can't live in it. Nah, can't get a job with it either. Weird. That's pretty weird. I mean, I thought that's what it was, but no. Nah, it's just it's just a monument to my mistake. And you hang that shit on your wall. You hang it on your wall and you look over at it. And then you're like, oh, God. Because you just remember you're so deep in debt. For what? For what? A liberal arts degree? Even if it's like something more reasonable, which it never is. The job market is tough regardless. It's just tough.
Don't even give them the full real details and the real numbers. It's one of those things, if you actually see the math of it all, it might make you decide to not have children.
Well, there's also...
Despite says, every day I lean further towards selling everything and putting a prefab tiny house on family land up in Chipley. I'm not going to say that's a bad idea. I mean, like, can you live with that? Like, look, I've seen people raise 5 kids in a trailer. You can do it. You can do it. A lot of people, it gets a little annoying when you don't have, like, tons of space. But you can do it. That's not the worst idea, man. Especially if you're, like, not the one paying property taxes for it.
Oh, yeah, it's $250,000, something like that. That's what I heard. And it probably is going to be more by the time the kid's an adult. You know, it'd probably be like $400K, something like that, maybe even more.
Back, Knob says about an acre. Okay, yeah, let him do that. Absolutely let him do that. What is a Amazon house, like $7,000? $10,000? I don't know. I actually legitimately don't know. But, like, absolutely let him do that. I would. That would be my go-to plan. I'd be like, you're going to live with me. You're all going to live with me forever. That's the deal. And, like, we're all going to be like a little team. And, like, if somebody tries to invade our land, we'll shoot them and we'll scalp them. Like Little House on the Prairie. Just scalping Indians. There's a pile of scalps. Oh, those are my Indian scalps. Oh, people ask. Yeah, I just keep them around. I'm going to put them on the inside of my room so I have furry walls. It's just a bunch of braids.
And it's also like a lot of lost opportunities, right? It's like if you're grinding, like let's say like you're streaming, like how many of you guys do we know streamers or people that did YouTube who after they had a kid, they slowed down a lot? And like
literally the opposite for me. I didn't start streaming until I had a kid.
Like that's a good thing. Like it shouldn't be looked at like, oh, you fell off. No, that's good. But the difference is that whenever you
live in Panama, Lucas? Like Panama, Central America? Weird.
You are just barely making it, or you're getting by.
Knob says 10 to 40K. Okay, that's not terrible. Honestly, I mean, like, I need to build an office because, like, I'm in one of the kids' bedrooms. So, like, they're going to need this room, and I need to build an office. So I might do that route where I'll just build an Amazon house somewhere on my property and then just make that an office as long as I can so I can do this.
And then you slow down. Well, now you're not getting by anymore.
Background noise says, don't worry, they're dot, not feather. I'm not keeping like Indian body parts anywhere on my property.
It's a family.
I mean, those people stink when they're alive.
Estimated $310,605 to raise a child.
I know, I said it, Asman. I'm sorry.
Born in 2015 to age 18.
$310,000. $310,000 to raise a kid till he's 18. Jeez. I'm going to need some donos, guys. I'm going to need a lot of donos. And I'm going to need you guys to spread the Sulk stream far and wide. Whatever. I'll figure it out. Because that's what you got to do. Right? And 310,000, I'm sure that's not... I mean... I'm sure you could do it for cheaper.
Fucking inflation.
I don't know, though.
Future inflation.
I thought it was a $250,000.
That doesn't even include the cost of college.
So if you look,
My kids aren't going to college. I'm going to tell them from a young age, you're too stupid. No. No. I'm not even going to let them be like, well, I'll get a job and I'll pay for it. And I should be like proud. Well, that's some gumption, son. I'll be like, no, that's stupid too. Don't do that. Don't go into debt. Don't go to college. Don't do that. No.
look at inflation within the child care market, it surpasses general overall inflation within
Child care prices rising. Why?
I mean,
Some couples are contemplating
Lucas says fathers figure it the fuck out. That's the plan. I'll figure it out. It's not, look, I'm not afraid. I'll fucking figure it out. Just like we figured out the Indian scalp thing and everything else. We're human beings. We'll figure it out.
having children at the same time that
Hey,
they're
farmer.
still paying off student loans that they incurred when
See,
they were
bro, that's what it's about.
18 to 22 years old.
One of my very closest friends, she's been
Homeboy, cut that shit. It's disgusting. And I'm sorry, is this a nose ring? Is that a nose ring? Ew. Ew, bro. Ew. Gay. Fucking gay.
struggling
Gay?
with the reality that the take-home pay
Your little tomboy girlfriend's kind of cute, though.
she makes is about equal to
She probably fantasizes that you're a chick when she's pegging you from behind, right? Did you get implants on your back?
what childcare would be. That's a really hard position to
With tiny nipples, right? She's a fan of the show.
be in.
But I don't have implants. I can see why you're confused.
Seeing our friends really struggle with that balancing act has, I think, made me appreciate the flexibility that we have financially because we don't have children.
Besides saving on
Background noise says my hair might be longer. I'm trying to donate it soon. Really, bro? Your hair's longer than that? But does it have this sheen? Like you look like an Afghan hound? Does it look like this? Because, like, I'm not against a dude having a rock and mane. I mean, like, honestly, they do take a lot of work, right? I've had longer hair, but it curls and it's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a lot of work. But do you have it like this? And do you have a nose ring? Because I'll ban you right now.
childcare, Dinks can also fully reap the benefits of combining their finances.
To look at both of our incomes coming in and see how we're able to handle all of that because we don't have extra finances with a child. It's much more comfortable. We get to focus more on...
See, that's a better look for you, bro. And look, she's cute. But you need to cut your hair. I'm so serious that you need to cut your hair. It's like serious. It's a problem.
the things that we want to do and saving a lot of that money.
Oh, I have a picture of my dog because my dog is my children. Dogs are my children. No, they're not. Shut up. They're not your kids. Shut the fuck up. Your dog is not your child. Okay? I love my dog, but if like it would make my child happy, I'd shoot that dog right dead. Just bam. It's a different thing, right?
The future and worry less about the day-to-day finances of the house and our bills.
Money isn't the only...
Yeah, it shouldn't be like that, though. You know, it's sad. What future? Yeah, there's really...
Bada bing. He looks like Mr. Beast in that portrait. Mr. Beast is a funny looking character. He seems soulless. Does Mr. Beast have a soul? I don't know if he does. Did he sell it to a demon or something like that for a very successful YouTube career? It's possible. It's possible. And he's like, I'm going to dig wells in Africa. I'm like, why? Why? Do they not have the technology for shovels? They do. I'm sure they do. Give them shovels. If they can't figure out, you can't figure out a shovel. You seriously can't. If you dig wells, they're going to be filled with bodies in no time. They're going to be controlled by warlords, and they're going to be like filled with diphtheria and like Ebola and shit like that. Don't do that. You're going to make things worse. Which is always what happens when you help out Africa. You drop rice on them, they multiply, and then they slaughter each other. You know, skip a step. You know, just skip a step. Whatever. If it makes you feel good, do your thing. It's your money, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But people can 100% afford a kid. Well, maybe they can. I think that a lot of the people that don't have kids, it's so selfish. No, it's not. I think that if...
Well, he doesn't have kids. Does Aspen have kids? I don't think he has kids.
You don't want to have kids, you shouldn't have kids.
Sure. I'm going to agree with him. If you don't want kids, you shouldn't have kids. However, there is this propaganda campaign, along with the entire economic situation that we're currently in. There's a propaganda campaign, and people are absolute sheeps to propaganda, right? There's constantly movies and like TV shows coming out about how terrible it is to be a parent. It's not. It's not bad being a parent. It's difficult sometimes, but most of the time, it's a lot of fun. It's very worth it. But for years, ever since like The Simpsons and like Family Guy and I don't know, All in the Family, some bullshit shows. It always shows like how difficult it is and like how out of control and like how expensive they are, and it convinces people, especially people who think they're smart, that having a kid is the worst thing in the world. And not only that. All through high school, you constantly heard about how being a parent was the worst thing you could ever possibly do with your life. Oh, you're going to ruin your future. Your future is over. You're going to ruin your future if you have a kid. That is the worst thing you possibly do. If you have a kid, your life is over. You're not going to go to college. You're not going to get a good job. You're not going to have a big house and lots of money and shit like that. And then they don't have kids. And then they go to college. And then they go on, they try to find that job, but that job's not there. But it's okay. They just keep looking and they keep, working and figuring it out. And then, oh, well, you're a little too old to have kids now. But you still don't have that big house and you have a bunch of college debt and shit like that. And then it starts to hit you when you're like, oh, I got fucking duped. I got fucking duped. Now, not only do I not have kids, I'm in tons of debt. I'm miserable. I'm an alcoholic cat lady. And if on you're the other side, you're some fat neckbeard sitting on his computer all day, collecting Funko Pops and jerking off to like anime figurines and stuff, and just covering them with semen until they have like this crust on them that's all brown and shit. Like, just, you can't even rinse it off afterwards. You have to collect it. You have to fossilize that Sailor Moon doll? What the fuck is wrong with you? Well, no kids around.
Yeah, 100%. Why would you want somebody who doesn't want to have a kid to have a kid? Like, that's up to them. It's their own decision.
Anpu says, I went to college after I had kids. Well, at least he had kids. At least you had kids, Anpu. Right? I didn't do either. I mean, I had kids. I didn't go to college. I didn't even finish high school. I got a GED. I was fucking out of there. I was out of there. And it took a while. I was like 30 before I got married, but now I got them. Now I got kids. No debt. Except for like my car.
That Dinks can save on.
The free time is actually one of the biggest things for me. So we built me a little office.
And it's so funny growing up hearing how, like, I would always hear this. Oh, you don't understand the gravity of the situation. You don't understand the gravity of the situation. I would always hear that from like teachers and administrators because like my grades were bad, right? I wasn't participating in school activity. You don't understand the gravity of the situation. Are you sure? Are you sure you understand? They didn't. And I imagine they still don't. I mean, they must have pretty hard lives now, but don't always assume you know everything.
Bedroom out here. We definitely have some more expensive hobbies. I build.
Let me look at that.
Keyboards! Keyboards! You build mechanical keyboards. You fucking nerd. You fucking nerd.
Oh, wow. That's a big one. Okay, yeah, this guy's serious. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, there it is.
It's an Apple. Is he using it as a Mac?
We definitely have some more expensive hobbies.
Yeah.
I build mechanical keyboards, like computer keyboards, in my spare time.
Cool.
And just parts and stuff for that can be very expensive.
Really? I had no idea. How much does a keyboard cost? Mine works fine. It's got the number pad and everything. I didn't build it.
Not having children has given us the freedom to pursue other things, remodeling.
She's going to hate you and leave you eventually. Look, I know there's a lot of divorces with like kids involved, and that's terrible. That's awful and stuff like that. But there's a lot of marriages that actually stood the test of time specifically because of the kids. And you know what? 90% of the time, shit works out. Right? The shit works out. You're either like sick of them for a while and then you kind of get over it. And if you didn't have kids, you'd be like, fuck this noise, I'm out. And then you end the relationship and move on. And then you just keep doing that until you have a string of divorces or just not a stable lifestyle in the least bit. And you kind of go nanners. You go wacky. Yeah, she's not gonna be thrilled about this in a couple of years. I guarantee you.
In our home, I'm a beekeeper.
What the fuck?
I'm really handy and I like doing stuff around the house. I wouldn't have the time to just do that.
They must have bears. That's why they put up this electric fence.
After work, if I feel like it, if I had, a child to care for.
True. He's right.
Fewer expenses leave
He's right.
Dinks with more disposable income to play with.
Disposable income.
Background noises. Their house looks so old. Their whole life is living in the past. Well, that's a common theme. That's a common theme these days. This is why you get those park sloppers and those Disney adults and shit like that, or people that just sit around and play video games and like read comic books. They're trying to like. They have this weird Arrested Development, right, where they weren't able to make the milestones in life of, getting married and getting like a stable job and like having kids and like actually establishing themselves as an adult, as a human grown adult being. And so they kind of just do what they did when they were a kid, right? They play video games and they try out different hobbies and stuff like that. And they like living in this Neverland kind of scenario where they don't have any sort of real responsibilities. But responsibilities are good. Responsibilities keep you grounded, right? They keep you sane. Funko Pops aren't going to keep you sane, man. They're not. Going to Comic-Con and shit and like spending money on mechanical keyboards is not going to keep you sane. Eventually, something's going to crack. And I don't know if you're going to spiral down into some weird depression or go manic or go on a pew-pew spree or something like that. But something's going to happen. Something is going to happen, and like you're just aiming for some very serious clinical depression, if not just you know.
Income is power, it's stability, and for many couples, it's security.
The security that having 6 months of income saved for emergencies gives you, that security was so helpful.
Jameson says we put up electric fences for tiny rabbits and deer. Both get killed and eaten if we see them near our garden. Okay. I mean, that must be nice. I mean, right? You just get a deer and then you fill a freezer with deer meat and then there you go. That's a lot of meat.
Us during COVID when I was out of work for 6 months.
I do it.
Have like a smaller tractor.
So I feel like even when this
No, not a poo-poo spree. Where they go and then things go bang, bang, bang. And then people scream and run. And I'm on YouTube, man. Don't make me say it.
Stance. This is usually
Come on,
example
bro.
of people not wanting to have kids as an outcome.
That's me after eating $100 worth of sushi. First of all, that's not even that much sushi. Sushi's expensive. But yeah, that's don't eat so much sushi.
Of finances. I think even in this circumstance, right? Because they're like, well,
4 chest freezers filled last winter, only 1 left with venison. Damn, that's a lot of meat, bro.
we almost got fucked up,
Don't clip me. Don't clip me saying that.
and now we don't want to do it. The government hates these people.
I know you're
Kids are
fucking
super
animals.
expensive. Yeah, and it's sad, man. It really is sad.
Style next year we're gonna get a 0.
We have more.
Big B says I want to get a Shine distillery. I have overalls. I'm halfway there. You should put up a still. Just in the woods. Making moonshine and shit like that. Send me some. Send me some, bro. Absolutely. I don't know if that's legal, but send me some.
I mean, really, the dude spending, how much money is it for one of those mechanical keyboards? How much money is he really spending on that? Probably not that much, right? This isn't $300, $1,000.
He's got to be spending a lot of money on prep, too. That drug? Because this dude is gay. You gay. You have earrings and a nose ring, bro. You gay. I know, okay, but she's she's got this. I think you're kind of gay, bro.
Or something like that. I don't know. I'm not seeing it to be the same price as a kid. We force people to have kids and then not even help pay for it.
What? We force people to have kids and then not even help people pay for it? What an asinine comment. What an asinine thing to say. So you're forcing people to have sex with each other. You find 2 people, you put a gun to their head, and you're like, you better fuck each other now. He's smoking a cigarette. He's smoking a cigarette. You better fuck each other right in front of me right now. Right now. And then do it until she gets impregnated. And then have the kid, and then you're like, that's not happening. That is not happening. I'm sorry if you're being a slut and you're going around getting knocked up by the football team and shit like that, but that's not anybody else's fault. You like dick. If anything, that's your mom's fault for raising such a little whore. Don't be such a whore. Forcing people to have kids. Shut the fuck up.
Well, I'm not doing that.
Christian says, man, I hope we find out this guy has an e-bike.
Call bullshit. Teaching your kids your hobbies is the most rewarding thing as a father. I love the fact that my kids love Pokemon, TCG, and video games. Yeah, but you can't ever.
That's some nerdy ass shit, but whatever. You do you as a parent. I don't believe in telling people really how to parent. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are bad parents and be like, I'm going to cut my kid's dick off. And then, look at him. He's a girl now. Look, that's a bad way of parenting, right? I'm not going to take that right from you. because like you're the parent and shit like that, but I really wish you didn't do that. But on the same ticket, don't tell me how to fucking be a parent, okay? If you're giving your kid fucking transgender hormones and shit, that before he even gets into like puberty, and then you judge me because I'm like, I want to homeschool my kids, get the fuck out of here. Are you serious? Fuck you.
This is the problem that a lot of people have, is that they always want other people to have the same values as them.
Naturally. That's a very natural. Look, naturally, of course. I mean, you wanna surround yourself with people with similar values, similar outlooks on life, similar, lifestyles, right? That's a very natural. Why do you think all gay people live in San Francisco, right? Well, it's just that's what a community is. I'm sorry, that's what a society is. Right? But when you start introducing a bunch of other types of lifestyles and other types of people, just start dumping Africans into the Midwest and shit like that, people are going to be upset. Why is this news? And it's not about racism. You can cry racism all you want. Oh, you don't want all these Somalians moving into your town? You racist. Well, yeah, I don't want 1 million Somalians moving into my town. But it's not specifically about race. You're really oversimplifying it. I don't want 1 million Somalians moving around because I have like a cat. I don't want them to eat that. I have kids. My friends have kids and stuff like that. I don't want you murdering them. They don't do. Yeah, they do. They do that in Somalia. Why wouldn't they do that here? Why wouldn't you just? It's just. Am I moving to Somalia and then forcing everyone to follow the law and be like, no, you can't kill and rape each other. No, I'm here now. You got everybody, I'm here. Law and order, I have the tasers. Law and order has commenced. I will be riding my e-bike around town and I will be tasing the rapists and the murderers. No, of course not. I don't do that. They can live how they want. Let me do that. Let me do the same thing. Is that okay? I want people like me around me, and I don't want to deal with other people. That's how I want to raise my kids. Okay? Is that racist? Fine. Fine. Call me whatever you want. From way the fuck over there. Way the fuck over there. Don't even communicate, like, go way the fuck over there. And then there's no problems. But if you want to fucking come into my neighborhood and, like, tell me and the people I live with how to fucking live and how we're all terrible people because we want to be able to, actually establish some sort of future, some sort of community amongst us, then you're going to have some problems. There's going to be some very serious problems. Some guy just got a fucking bullet in the neck. A fucking bullet in the neck. Because he went around telling people, hey, go have kids. And be Christians and stuff like that. And, have some value in your life. And, don't cut your dicks off. And don't cut your kids' dicks off. Because that's not really, the best. Boom! Right there. I mean, if you're going to, seriously, it's come down to that point where it's just like, you better fuck off. You better fuck off. Not even fucking kidding. This is over. All right, we're not talking it out anymore. This is the time for talking is long past. Okay. Most people in the country, in the United States, are not fucking dealing with it anymore. And this has become clear. And you can feel this entire, mood shift on the internet and even in town and shit like that. There was a Charlie Kirk vigil in my town tonight. I didn't go. But you really think that there was so many Charlie Kirk fans in my little beach town that they decided to have a vigil? Or do you think they're just fucking sick of being told what to do? And they fucking hate seeing people die over opinions that they generally agree with. People have had it. People have had it. You cut your fucking hair. You cut your fucking hair, bro.
There are some people
yes.
that just don't feel that way. And they don't.
Jameson says, I counted 8 TPUSA shirts at Publix on my lunch break today. Good to see. Well, I don't know. Because they're still doing Charlie Kirk's show. Just without Charlie, I mean, the chair is empty. His chair is empty. And now there's just, now it's like the cast from the Daily Wire is up. And then they're like, well, this is our show now. I'm like, why don't you just end the show? The guy's dead. He's dead. Can you not take over his show? You absolute ghouls. Stop the show. It's over. Nope. Okay. If I got shot in the neck, if I died, and some fucking guy just rolled in here, he's like, yo, what's up? I'm doing the Sulk stream now. I'd be mad. I'd be mad, dude. And I'm sure you guys would be mad too. And probably just in general stop watching. Right? This show is like about my takes. This audience appreciates my takes, I assume, unless you just want to make fun of me for my gay-ass e-bike. But even that's fine. What's he going to do? Be like, hey guys, I have an e-bike too. Shoot him. Shoot the guy that replaces me. If some guy comes in and he's all like, you know what, I'm going to carry on the show in John's honor. Shoot that motherfucker. Shoot that guy. It's not your show. You start your own fucking show. This is my show.
Want to do that. And it's not wrong.
James says Ben Shapiro. Okay. Ben Shapiro stepping in for tiny nips. No thanks. I mean, imagine you just got Ben Shapiro plopping down in this seat right here and be like, you know what, guys? It's real tragic, but now I'm going to start using my humor. And it would just kill the vibe. The jokes would not be the same. And I would feel dishonored in the afterlife. And I would haunt Ben Shapiro. I'm sure he's haunted by a bunch of stuff, but by John, not yet. You're going to hear my e-bike coming in the middle of the night. Ring, 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 ring. Yeah.
Well, biologically, you could say it is because if
just a haunting. It's an e-bike.
He thought like that would kind of, that would work itself out pretty quick. But
Christian says you guys are going to love my new improved Sulk Stream 2.0, right? With no sulk at all. 100% less sulk.
It's still their choice. That guy's hair, no, don't let him fool you. This hairline is almost as bad as mine. Okay,
it's not great. Not gonna, yeah. I'll cover your cursor there, Asbin. But I mean, I'm not gonna rip on him for his hairline. But the hair itself, and I'm gonna drape it over my shoulder. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please, dude. I ride an e-bike. I ride an e-bike, and I think that's the gayest shit I've seen. And take out the fucking nose ring.
Well, it's almost as bad as mine. No, he does the same thing. It's just since he has light.
Feral Pigeon says, "Whirr." That's an e-bike sound in my head. I mean, yeah. Imagine hearing that in the middle of the night, right? You just wake up. What the fuck? It wouldn't even be scary. That'd be annoying. I would be an annoying ghost. Not like a poltergeist throwing shit across the room, right? And be like, whoa. I'll haunt your grave. I'm gonna kill it. No, it would just be like, and you'd be walking around the house. What the fuck is that sound? Turning off your breaker and shit. I still hear it, and it would drive you mad. It would drive you absolutely insane. Until one day, Ben Shapiro's just in a padded room being like, making the sound himself, right? Nobody has any idea what's going on with him. He's insane. Because I drove him insane. Because he tried to replace me on the Sulk stream. The end.
Her hair, it doesn't look as bad. Yeah, look at that, bro. Like, that is a fucking... Bro, that is almost a right triangle. Like, you could take this angle right here, and you could put it on, like, one of fucking...
Jameson says John is the type of ghost that would pluck out nose hairs while you're trying to sleep or shave. Just pluck out somebody else. That'd be annoying. That would be pretty annoying, yeah.
Da Vinci's different pictures of, like, the man with his arms. Like, that could absolutely be one of the little angles.
For chaos.
Let's be real.
Christian, for $2, he got a, okay. What's this? What is this? Miss Gulch. Here, let's see what this is. Is that me? Am I wearing a big hat? Thank you for not, because I don't think I'm going to get a copyright strike for that, because I forgot who donated the kitty history one. I got a copyright strike for that, so I had to remove it. It's fine now, but it's a little annoying. It's not the worst thing. It's just a little annoying.
Because of our savings.
Honestly, it's my fault.
Our new savings goal, which
Feral Pigeon says, "Whirr." Jameson says, "Pluck." Whirr. Gah! Ah! God! What is happening? What is going on? That's all you... What the fuck? Why is my power bill so high? I'm plugging it into his outlets.
is like our
See?
shoot for this.
Now that would really get Ben Shapiro. If he couldn't figure out why his power bill was going up, that would really, because you know.
Ours and hit the moon kind of is saving $4,000 a month.
According
That's
to
a
census
lot of money.
data, Dinks can save 9% more for retirement.
That's saving $4,000 a month is big. That's huge.
Oh, what? Okay, that's almost $5,000 a month. So you can save $5,000 a month? How much do I spend on my kids? Not $5,000 a month. No. What the fuck is $5,000 a month? I don't believe that.
Compared to dual income couples with children. Another 2021 study found that childless adults aged 55 and older had a personal median net worth of $153,900 compared to $130,400.
I'm actually surprised the difference isn't larger.
So that's only a 20% difference. So how are you spending $5,000 a month? It's only $20,000. Those numbers don't make sense to me.
Especially considering, the way like interest, compounding interest and stuff like that works. Yeah, I'm surprised it's not more.
Biological parents.
If you have
I mean, here's the thing. When you don't have kids, you're going on like vacations. You're going to Disney trips and stuff like that. You're spending money on mechanical keyboards. You're beekeeping and you have a million other things. I mean, you find a way to spend the money, I guess. So you're not even that much richer. So are kids really that expensive? If you're spending the money anyway, going to weird vacations and shit like that, which, don't get me wrong, vacations are cool and all, but like, they're not that cool. They're all right. I like traveling. It's okay. And yeah, it's just okay. Traveling is kind of a pain in the ass. I have a house where all my stuff is here, and like I like the people around me, and you know I have my video games, and you know I do my work and stuff like that. I have my little project. I like my life. I don't really need a vacation from it. I like traveling somewhat. But I'm just a fucking pack mule when I'm traveling. I have to carry everybody's bags, plus oftentimes 2 kids. So bags and then 2 kids. And then I'm like, oh great. This is insanely expensive. Doesn't matter where you're going.
And if you have to choose how to use it, a Dink can prioritize savings, retirement, investments.
Couch Turfing says, in my opinion, you will not find true fulfillment in life without children. She's my wife. She's the mother of my children. And we laugh at our kids all the time. They just do little things that are hilarious to us. Like they just have a weird energy about them. It's refreshing, right? And I feel like life would get stale without them.
Both in the equities market
and ice
as
cream.
well as things like real estate or second properties.
See, the hardest part of investing is just having the cash to do it. And so when
Feral Pigeon says, I'm taking my first vacation in 8 years next month, and I'm so excited for it, and it's not even fancy, just peaceful. Where are you going? Congratulations, have a good time, but where are you going?
you don't have your cash going to expenses.
That's one thing that, you know, if you're rich, you can buy more money. Poor people can't do that. It's expensive to be poor.
And disgusting.
That are related to children, that cash can go into those.
Ew. Now look, there's levels of poor, and when I say it's disgusting to be poor, I mean like the homeless. I don't like homeless. Go be homeless elsewhere. I'm sorry your life is like this, but it is your fault. I mean, the ones that I've seen.
Those investment goals.
We started investing in our early 20s.
That's good.
I feel really safe because we have this
Oh, you're just going to go out and see the family. Okay, that's cool. That's nice.
strong nest egg of ETFs that are accessible and fairly liquid. And then we...
The mountains in Arkansas? I bet that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Me and Jess, I mean, we used to take these little trips. Now we can't really go. Now we can't really go anywhere without our kids. So, but like we used to, you know, we go to like St. Augustine, or we go to like Savannah for like a weekend, a couple nights or something like that. Little trips like that are fun. Those are fun, and they're not terribly expensive, and they count. That counts.
also have our long-term savings, which are, you know, tied up in IRAs.
Jameson says, imagine not being able to pay for hardwood floor polish. Hell, imagine not having hardwood floor. Fuck that shit. I know. It's disgusting. That's gross. Ew. Your fixtures. Ugh.
We can choose what our aging years look like because we've saved to plan for that eventuality.
So it is well documented that the younger you are when you start your savings and your retirement portfolio, the better off you are in the long run in terms.
Really? Really? No shit. No shit. Wow. You telling me the longer I save money, the more money I have? Get the fuck out of here. Oh, you must be some sort of financial wizard. Do you have powers? I want to strangle you for how stupid you are.
In terms of aggregate savings and your ability
Shut
to
up.
accrue savings.
Obviously. But most people don't get into the situation where they can actually save money. Well, I mean, it used to, like, back in the boomer era, you could do it when you're, like, in your 20s, mid-20s or something like that. Now you're lucky to do it in your mid-30s. But even that's starting to push it. But, like, obviously, shut up.
Savings and wealth.
Just take
There's another problem with the boomers. Well, I started putting away 40% of my paycheck every single month when I was 19. And like, yeah, but you had like a house and 2 cars and 3 kids. And you were still able to put away 40% of your paycheck. Shut up. Shut up.
$605.
You don't think I want to do that? You don't think I'd be thrilled to do? And you still took vacations. Working at a fucking gas station. Shut up. Shut up. Absolute tone-deaf boomers. Constantly. Always. They constantly try to compare their life to modern times and be like, you guys are just lazy. We're all hardworking geniuses. We knew how to do it right? That's why we're millionaires now. Or, hear me out. You came of age in the easiest time in history. It was the easiest time to be a human in history. And forget about like the nuclear crisis and all that shit. Oh, Kennedy got shot. I'm so sorry. People were landing on the moon while going to war. The amount of money that was flowing was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Everybody had a house. Everyone had 2 cars. You were poor. You were poor if all you had was a 2-story house and a few kids. You were considered poor. A loser. Look at Married with Children. Al Bundy. He sold shoes, and not even well. He didn't own that place. He just worked there selling shoes to fat women. Be like, hey, get your big fat ass over here. I'm going to shove your foot into this loafer. Paying his mortgage. Doesn't that make you angry? Of course it does. That's a loser with a smoking hot wife and fucking a couple of kids and like, a couple cars. Obviously not like the greatest cars, but hey, they run. But like, shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, there's a lot of numbers and like data and like extrapolation that people do for like how much more money you would have if you started saving at like 18.
Feral Pigeon says they need to remove themselves from the job market so the young ones can do the same. I'm in the trades and these old fucks refuse to leave unless they are injured. Yeah, of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. It just makes so much sense because that's all they really have, right? I mean, like, instead of like fostering good relationships with their children and their grandchildren or anything like that, they just assumed that they were better than everyone else. And that they didn't need anybody else. All they needed was their job and their income and stuff like that. And now in their old age, now that they have nothing, they haven't fostered any real sort of relationships or anything like that. Now it's all they have. Now they don't visit their grandkids and their grandkids barely know them. And like, they can't stop. They just literally cannot stop because it's the only place they feel worthwhile. It's the only place they feel important. They could have as much money as they could have more money than they could possibly spend in 100 lifetimes. And they'll just keep rationalizing it. Be like, well, I'm doing this for my kids. No, you're not. No, you are not. You're doing it so you can feel important in a time in your life when you should be spending time with your family and then reminiscing and then maybe trying to pass on life lessons to your grandchildren to perpetuate culture. I mean, that's kind of what people did throughout all of history. But no, you want to be a big shot still. You still want to be in the limelight. You want to be that guy. It's an empty existence. It is a hollow, empty existence. And they're addicted to it. They're absolutely addicted to it. And you can't convince them that they're, doing the wrong thing because you can't convince a boomer of anything. They're hard-headed. They're infants. They're naive as all get out. Oh, my God. But they think they're geniuses at the same time because they have so much money. This is their worth. This is their worth. They don't have worth as like a parent or as a grandparent or as a leader in the community or as a friend or anything like that. They have a dollar amount in a bank account. This is where they derive their self-value from. That is hollow.
Versus 25 versus 30 versus 35. Long story short, it's best to start saving as early as possible.
Would take for a middle income.
Christian, yeah, even Homer could do it. And Homer was retarded. He had a crayon in his brain.
Married family to raise a child.
Yeah.
While child expenses can vary significantly by age.
Isn't that crazy? Who would have expected that?
That could.
Big B says, I got old timers triple dipping, wage, Social Security, and pension. If 15 of them would retire, the young bucks would be doing better. Well, yeah. And then, remember, part of your paycheck goes into their bank account. Part of your paycheck goes into their bank account. So, oh, I worked for this money. No, you didn't.
Easily represent
No, you
more
didn't.
than $15,000 in otherwise investable funds per year.
Yep.
Consider the power of annually compounding interest.
There it is.
And that $15,000 per year can grow to more than $500,000 in just 18 years, assuming 7% annual returns. This nest egg could also help Dinks secure more assets for themselves.
Yep.
7% annual returns, is that a safe assumption? Is 7% a safe assumption? I'm legitimately asking.
Dual earner adults living together who both have jobs and have been saving are really able to put a heftier, relatively large down payment on a home, which then reduces their monthly mortgage and has all of these other benefits. You're paying less interest over the long run.
Well, that's not always a good idea, assuming that the interest rate on the mortgage is lower, is higher, or is lower than like your market return. Like that's not always.
Sure. I mean, like, if you were to put like 3% down instead of like 20% down, you can use that extra, 20 something K, and then put that into the stock market and get, well, like he said, a 7% return. And then after you'd actually make more money investing into the stock market than you would have, saved putting that money down on a house payment. So yeah, that makes sense.
Is a good idea, but generally it is
7% is pretty conservative. Okay,
it's very simple math.
Have a good little nest egg gifted to me by my grandparents, and that
inheritance ain't bad.
Helped us buy our first house. But then from there, living in that house, living in a place with a lower cost of living like Utah, having dual income.
Okay, so you had a nice inheritance, and now you're on top of that. You're like, okay, now I'm gonna double slap my grandparents in the face and then go extinct. Is that what they wanted? Probably not.
Helped us build all this savings so that when we sold that home and moved to Massachusetts, we had an even larger nest egg that allowed us to buy a more expensive home in a higher cost of living.
Oh, it's not trust fund or anything like that, Cheaties. No. I mean, there's a lot of people that...
Honest question, just because people get older, do you think they stop having bills? No, of course not. Why would... No. The boomers I'm talking about are do not have a lack of money. They could live 100 lifetimes. It is not about a lack of money at all. Easily retired 30 years ago type of boomers, right? It's not about, oh, I have to make money. Sure, some boomers are like that. Some. But like the ones that I'm talking about that continue to work even though they don't need to work, that's a problem. That's an issue. And then on top of that, they're collecting Social Security and then the pensions and fucking 401k bullshit. Yeah. They're fine. They're just taking up resources from people that want to buy a house, that want to start a family, that want to continue the civilization we're trying to continue. It's greed. It's plain and simple greed. That's it.
That inherit things from their family. Like, this is not an uncommon thing that people inherit things from their family. Like,
it's not uncommon. That's true. And they've been talking about the greatest wealth transfer in history, which is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Do you guys know how much nursing homes cost? A lot. They're like $100K a year at least. Maybe not at least, but they are pretty. I mean, $100K a year pretty regularly. A lot of boomers are reverse mortgaging their houses, not passing it down, not like making their kids' lives easier in any facet. No, they just want to make sure they're comfortable, right? So instead of living at the house with their kids, right, which is what old people have done for millennia, right? They're like, it's okay, we're going to sell the family house and I'm going to live on a cruise ship until I die, which is actually cheaper than a nursing home. But, yeah. All this money is going to go directly towards their enjoyment. Most people probably will get very little. The vast majority of people will get very little. And then the boomers will think, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps, which obviously they did not. You can do it too, which obviously you cannot. So it's basically dooming their descendants into a life of feudalism so they can have nice things that no one gives a fuck about.
That's not crazy, is it? Damn.
Area. I'm not totally.
Jameson says $72K for a nice one per year, South Alabama. Well, that's South Alabama. South Alabama is cheap as fuck.
Sure where we would be if we had a child as well.
That extends beyond just purchasing a home. There are lots of big ticket investments that we tend to make earlier on in adulthood, to the extent that we...
Like an expensive car that will depreciate in value the moment that you drive it off the dealership.
And
the insurance for it is extremely high, so you have to pay it, and then you also have to make a car payment every month.
Look, you need a car in the United States. You do. And I know, I completely understand the argument behind like, oh, buy a shit box because they're vastly cheap. There's a reason cars are expensive. They don't want you to own cars. Owning a car it means freedom in the United States. Owning your own car. And yeah, you can buy an old shit box, but it's not going to last you forever. Some will. Admittedly, some will. Maybe you can find a nice one that's like, from the 90s or something like that, has 100,000 miles, and just keep fixing it up. Eventually, the parts for those aren't going to exist anymore, right? And they're going to make this happen too. They're going to not sell parts for cars, and eventually, there's only going to be two kinds of cars. They're going to be Ubers, robo-taxis, and then super elite people with their own car. It's going to be a thing. When people, oh my God, he's got his own car? That's like you're a fucking high school kid. There's going to be a day when only rich families have cars. That day is coming, and it's kind of right now, right? It's kind of right now. I'm just saying, maybe making a large investment in a car isn't the worst idea in the world. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying it is a bad idea. There's also a lot of people saying that it's a terrible idea to buy a house right now. Yeah. So, I don't think it's a terrible idea to buy a house right now either. Oh, the prices are coming down. Oh, are car prices coming down too? Oh yeah? Is that what's going to... Our car prices, along with how... Are we going to be spending $60K on a fucking house now? And that way we can go back where I can, get a brand new car for like $12,000 to $16,000 like the old times? Is that what's going to happen? Or are you just going to keep fucking pumping money into the system? Fucking turning that wheel, right? Just shooting out $100 bills, huh? Don't fucking bullshit me. I know what you're doing. I see what you're doing, right? You're trying to take everything everyone owns and have it for yourself and just have this entire rental economy. You're trying to have a subscription service for somebody's entire life. And the moment they can't pay, well, you own nothing, so you get nothing. That's exactly what's happening. Don't listen to all these fuckheads out there being like, oh, you got a nice fancy car. I'm sorry, it's a newer car. Yeah, I wanted it to last a long time. Yeah. It's a house. I wanted to buy a house so I could live in my fucking house. I wanted to own my things. Is that okay with you, Boomer? Is it okay that I own my things and not constantly pay for fucking repairs or just Uber everywhere? Is that okay?
Yeah, you have to remember that. Like, if I had 100...
Feral Pigeon says it's called microtransactions economy. And there's, look, I got subscriptions. I got all kinds of subscriptions. I do. I got like Netflix and shit, Amazon, bunch of other ones. Sure. But I own my things, you know. The main things in life, I own. I own them because I want to own them, right? Don't give me bullshit about how it's a bad investment and it's cheaper to rent. Oh, it's cheaper to rent. Yeah, but, you know, if somebody dislikes my opinion, they can't just, like, kick me out. They can't take my car away. They can't, like, you know, I mean, they can stop me, my payment transactions and stuff like that. They can do that. There's really nothing I can do about that. But they can't take my car. They can't take my house. Right? These are my things. I own them. And if you try to take them, I can shoot you for it. If you rent everything, if you lease everything, it's not the case.
$100 million, I probably would still not buy a Lamborghini.
I wouldn't either. That's a stupid thing. What am I, fucking black? Am I go around flexing my fucking Lambo? No. Fuck that. If I get $1 million, I'd build like a bunker or something like that on a ranch. Right? I'm not moving. I like my house. Feral Pigeon says BMW makes you pay monthly for heated seats. Yeah, it's these little things, right? There's other car companies that make you pay a monthly subscription so you can unlock the full power of the engine. So like it's governed at like a certain amount of horsepower. If you want to unlock another 100 horsepower in your engine, then you have to pay them $100 a month or something like that. Something ridiculous. If you stop paying them, they'll go and send over a thing over the Wi-Fi that says, nope, you can't do that anymore. You thought you could overtake that truck? No, sorry, you missed a payment. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. No, own your things. Own your things and make sure that they last a long time. But like buying an old beater is not always the best route. I know like new cars, a lot of them are made out of plastic and shit like that. But like, let's be real. A newer car is going to last typically longer than an older car. Typically, right? Typically.
Still wouldn't do it. It's a waste of money. I would only do it if I could. I would do it and I would never drive it. I would like buy one from like Bugatti or like Rolls Royce, like one of the ones that will appreciate in value based off of like the model. And then I'll just like hire somebody to like take care of it. And so it's like I'm not really buying a car. I'm just buying an investment vehicle, like literally.
Oh, he's got the money to do that.
Can pay as much of it as possible.
Ford patented being able to turn off accessories for past due customers. Of course they did.
Pretty good ROI.
Front, that does have a rippling benefit for us as we
It
age.
depends on how many computer components are in it. Well, I mean, like new cars are they're half computer. They're fucking cyborgs anyway. Like, yeah, it is. Yeah, there's a lot. And look, there's plenty of cars out there with minimal electrical components and shit, but it still goes back to like, how long are you going to be able to repair these cars? They will stop making parts for them. I promise you. I guarantee you. You're not going to be able to like roll a 1992 Corolla forever. It's just not going to happen, right? Sure, in like Cuba, they're driving around cars from the 50s and shit, but they're cobbled together with like glue and duct tape. But those cars were not nearly as complicated as like a 1992 Corolla. I'm just saying, They're not stupid. They know what they're doing. You will have limited access. You won't be able to afford a 1992 Corolla. I mean, some of them are pretty expensive now.
But like, if I wanted to, I would. XQC, is that what
But
he
the
does?
rise of Dinks isn't such great news for the economy as a whole.
Yeah.
Historically, lower birth rates have been associated with slower economic growth.
Who could have ever guessed that?
And critical social programs such as Social Security depend heavily on population growth.
We shouldn't strive to have a generation of young adults that are not reproducing. That would not be healthy for society.
A truck will last damn near forever just because how the engine is torqued. Well, then why do people buy new trucks? Why do people ever buy new trucks? Why is like a Ford Raptor $110,000, $120,000? Why that?
Society.
No.
It wouldn't be healthy for the economy. It wouldn't be healthy for us as we age. So there are a lot of reasons why we do want to take investments in the next generation seriously.
Big B says those cars in Cuba don't have the original motor. Most of them have a diesel forklift motors in them now. I mean, okay, I believe that. Maybe you could buy a used motor from China or something like that, and then that'll get you through another 5 to 10 years. I mean, it's going to be a pain. You could probably pull it off. I'm sure you could. But then we're just going to end up like Cuba, where like there's tons of people rolling around in fucking 50, 60-year-old cars. And good for mechanics, I guess. Good for mechanics.
For Dinks, the biggest challenges are often not financial.
And I think we freaked a lot
This is true, is that there's a lot of people, and this is what I said before, there are people who are they are in need of constant approval of their life decisions. They constantly need somebody to tell them that the thing that you're doing is the right thing. And whenever...
Well, that's definitely not me. Holy shit. I mean, that ain't me. It's a lot of people, I mean, you guys can probably guess. A lot of people don't think my opinions are I grew up in fucking California. You know? My opinions we're not widely accepted. And today, I live in Florida now, right? And it's better. But, like, the internet, how often do I get in internet fights? All the time. Royce is always telling me, like, you get in a lot of fights. I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. Because the internet is filled with idiots. It just is. It's just filled with idiots. I need to approve of my decisions. That's what I need to do. That's what I don't give a shit what other people think. A lot of people are fucking morons and only do what like the news tells them or their boomer parents or whatever god off like economic guru they found on YouTube, right? Oh, you don't want to buy a house now. You're cheaper renting. Yeah, well, go fuck yourself. How about that? How about that? Maybe you go keep your fucking advice to yourself. You know? I didn't ask. Fuck you.
Other people are doing a different thing and they seem to be happy. These people constantly try to find different weaknesses and like, oh, well, you're not really happy. Oh, well, it's not really like that. This is the biggest fucking insecurity ever. There are plenty of people that do things that are totally different than you that are completely fucking happy. Like, it's just, again, it's just...
Is Asmund Gold very conservative? I see all this shit about from people say, oh, Asmund's next. Asmund's next. He's such a right-wing Nazi and shit like that. I'm like, is he? God, what am I? Further than that? Is there even a name for what I am? A Sulkster? Just is that the new Nazi? I don't know. I hope that doesn't catch on.
Just it's insecurity, I think. It's insecurity.
I mean, Asmund just seems very... He doesn't seem like super... I've never even viewed him as a political streamer or anything like that. he says stuff, and a lot of it makes sense. I never thought of him as like very hardcore right wing or very hardcore left wing in any manner or anything like that. But a lot of people are pretty angry at him. I mean, it makes sense why they're not happy with me.
Security and people are not confident in their decisions.
People out when we were just a young married couple, and that was all. There was no baby afterwards. I had family members
Fur baby.
asking if something
You think she has sex with that dog?
was wrong because it's been 5 years of a young, healthy couple not producing a child.
Jamie says the stop clock is right twice a day. Dude is still a retard. Asman? On what opinions of his? Admittedly, I don't watch all of his stuff. I haven't seen him be like retarded about anything. But maybe I'm
I
wrong.
think that there
Well, I mean, yeah, of course they're going to wonder that because usually most people have kids. And then whenever you're not doing it, people are going to wonder, why aren't you doing it? Is it really surprising that people ask you about, are you doing the thing that guarantees the continuation of our existence? I mean, like, of course you're going to have aunts and uncles at Thanksgiving.
Jameson says peanut butter house. And then Josh says that healthy code is from all the peanut butter. You guys are having your own thing going on.
Asking you about this.
You guys got your
This
own
is
thing.
normal.
You're making
Think
your
about
own
it from their
jokes.
perspective. Are they supposed to know every life decision that you're making? Maybe you've changed your mind. Jesus Christ. Like, it's just, oh my God.
a self-care aspect that is minimized when you're a dink.
Self-care. Oh, fuck.
Self-care has gone too far. I mean, like, self-care, mental health days, fucking... but, like, what do you expect from people, right? They got nothing else going on, and everyone is, like, riddled with anxiety and shit like that. And then, you know, the internet's not helping. You look at X, and it is bad for your mentality. It is. And my mental health is probably not great to begin with. But I'm still on there fighting with people.
I hear about this shit again. All right, here we go. Let's do it.
I block out most of what I heard Asmongold say. I just don't like him. Well, I need an opinion or something that I you know, because do you not like him because he's weird? He is weird. Don't get me wrong. He is weird.
So there are many mom groups or, you know, daddy-daughter dances.
Yeah.
There aren't groups for, hey, I'm a professional woman and I just want to go home
There's
and read a book.
plenty of groups for single men. They're called World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Final Fantasy, and let me think. I don't know. Escape from Tarkov. If you want
Escape from Tarkov is hard. It is not. Escape from Tarkov is not a place to improve your mental health. It's where you go to, like, suffer and stuff like that. Virgie loves Escape from Tarkov.
to find a bunch of men that don't have kids, just go online.
And take care of myself tonight.
I think on the other side of that,
Take care of myself tonight. We get it. You're going to be strumming the old banjo. That's fine. Do your thing. Leave the dog alone.
there can be times where, in certain circumstances and circles, it's harder to make friends.
There is also the potential for more financial responsibility from other family members.
There could be additional pressure as dinks get older for people within their family to assume that they can take care of certain obligations. For example, if you have an aging parent.
This is true. Jess has a friend that her siblings have kids, right? And she's the only one sans child. And her mom is wheelchair bound and has a serious medical issue. And it's largely put on her to do the caretaking for her and, like, you know, do all the things that she needs. And it's a very it's almost a full-time job, right? And yeah, I mean, you're not taking care of a baby, so you can take care of this old sick lady. So it's not ideal. It's not ideal. It's not ideal.
Dinks might be the ones that are relied upon because it's presumed you have disposable income or you have disposable.
Farmer says, I don't know much about Asmongold besides the dude apparently lives in filth. Yeah, I could tell you that. I mean, look. Yeah. The dude has millions of dollars, and he looks like he lives in his dad's attic and, like, the same room he grew up in, and he's just, like, he's pale and he's thin and stuff like that, but he dates, like, OnlyFans models and shit. Yeah, he's a weird cat. He's a weird guy.
Disposable time to take on these responsibilities.
As it should
Shimo
be.
says, poor dog.
Yep,
The poor dog probably has to lick all that peanut butter, you know?
that's right.
Lots of peanut butter. That's what it is.
According to experts, the number one advice for Dinks is to prioritize savings.
And it
figure out-
sucks. It does. It fucking sucks dick. Oh my god. I had to deal with that with my mom. Oh fuck, it was awful. But you gotta do it. That's just how it is.
What do you gotta do? You
Clear
gotta...
goals for the future.
Or you could fucking have kids and shit like that, and maybe they'll leave you alone. Yeah, maybe. Maybe not. I mean, sometimes you have to do it, and sometimes you don't. There's a lot of boomers that can pay for that kind of service and shit like that. You know, I'm not in the situation where I have to, like, take care of elderly parents or anything like that, so I can't really speak to that. But I do have kids. And, I mean, they require a lot of... I have to, like, wipe asses and shit like that and, like, carry them. I have to literally carry them a majority of the time. I'm like, you can walk. He's like, yeah, I know, but I want to be carried. I'm like, okay. Okay.
If anybody is considering becoming a dink, as a financial planner, I highly recommend that strategy. I recommend
Because you ugly and you don't have kids.
it to my clients.
Oh, I thought that was the lady. I was like, bitch, you have a hairy-ass arm. No, it's the dude. That's dude hair right there. Ugh.
When my clients tell me that's an intentional choice they're going to make, I am a big fan of it.
With that disposable income, make a budget. How do you want to spend it? Make sure you put aside.
By the way, as a financial planner, of course she's a fan of it because she gets a larger percentage off of the money you can make and save. So, yeah, of course she's a fan of it. She doesn't care about your mental well-being or your legacy or like how stable your future really is besides economically. But the more money you make and save and make, the bigger cut she's going to get. Of course you're a fan of it. Of course.
Some money for fun, but also make sure you put aside some money for investments, and they can be traditional or non-traditional investments, and then revisit it annually to make sure it still makes sense.
I think if you're
Smart.
considering not having children in your life, make sure your partner's on the same page as you.
Yeah.
And
Arden Sherry says, like, your future bloodlines will never, ever exist. That's a wild thing to choose. It's an extremely selfish thing to choose. It is. Look, I know people are like, oh, I don't want to have kids because, you know, I just want to live my life for me. Or like it's too hard, you know, financially, or it doesn't matter what your reasoning is. I mean, like, your ancestors fought and died and starved and, you know, clawed their way through existence so you could be here. And then you grow your hair out long and pet a dog. It's pathetic. It's just pathetic. And I don't even want to say you do you. I get that. Like, you do you, man. But it's just like, at this point, it's like, okay, too many people are doing them. Too many people are doing them. We need to, like, actually move forward as a species. Okay? We can't just call it, okay, we're here. This is good. Let's just all fucking get in a big sex pile. And then it's over. By the 22nd century, nobody's going to be here. Nobody of value, at least.
that you have confidence in that value in isolation without your partner too.
Yeah. Don't.
Freeside Thug says, yes, do not have kids. Use your money to consume. That's the path to happiness, right? Yeah. Well, here's the thing. As houses get more and more expensive, as cars get more and more expensive, as like, education and like healthcare, these things get more and more expensive. On the other hand, Funko Pops and Labubu's and Starbucks coffee and, Netflix and shit like that, these are all pretty reasonable. There's these distractions that are just cheap enough, not exactly cheap, but just cheap enough for you to spend your money on them and just push that pain aside for a little bit longer. Because you're not going to be able to afford a house payment. You're not going to be able to afford a car payment or anything, any of those key life milestones that's going to help you build a future, right? So you have this consume mindset where you're like, I'm going to build mechanical keyboards and I'm going to start beekeeping and shit like that because I got nothing else to do. I can't buy a house. This is all planned. This is all planned. This is exactly what they want. They want you on the edge, right? Where you can still pay for enough stuff to have a modicum of happiness, but not actual true joy, not satisfaction, not looking back on your life and being like, I really accomplished something. No, you're constantly in this limbo, right? Where you're never moving forward, but you're not exactly moving backwards either. You're not going into the fucking poorhouse or anything. You're just kind of consuming. And it does get tougher. It does get, but as you get older, you make more money, so you can buy more Labubus. You can buy more mechanical keyboards. You can just keep buying bullshit, and maybe once or twice a year, you could have a fucking vacation where you go to a nonsense land, and then you tell everybody about it for decades, right? Who are you gonna tell? Other dickhead childless couples who just want to fucking hate you as much as you hate them, right? They're not your family. You have no family. As a full-grown adult man, you don't have kids. You don't have a lineage. You don't have a legacy. You have nothing. You have nothing. And I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of people out there without kids, and like a lot of people out there have tried to have kids and it didn't work out. And I feel for that. I do. And that's not your fault. If you tried and you failed, that's not your fault, right? That could be any number of a thing. Because remember, they're also trying to like sterilize people too. What is that one shot? Gardasil? You know how many people that fucking sterilized? A lot. Oh shit, I'm going to get fucking kicked from YouTube for that one. Fuck it, I don't care. It did. And they're still fucking out there pushing it.
Go into the dink lifestyle just like, oh, I don't have kids, so I just have more money and can do whatever. It still takes the work of like planning for your future, putting money away. If you're not going to have kids, make sure you still save money for your future because the world is a weird place.
Well, the reason why people don't have kids is because they can't save the money in the first place to have the kids. So it's hard to really do that. But he's right. Yeah, for sure.
How much money did it take a caveman to have kids? How much money? Give me the dollar amount. Or whatever money they were using back. How much money? Oh, was it zero? Was it $0? Yeah, it was $0. Zero.
Now, who knows what it's going to be like in another 30, 40 years when we...
Oh, but I want to have a nice nursery, and I want to have a hospital birth where they give me drugs and stuff like that. I want to make sure you're safe and shit like that. Okay, all right, fine. You don't want kids. All right. Look, if you want kids, you're going to make it happen. You're going to... And I understand that maybe you don't have that biological drive to actually reproduce. That is like... A lot of people don't. They don't have that strong biological urge to reproduce. Women kind of do, though. But don't act like money is the only barrier. Because it's not. It's not.
Go to retire.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is kind of sad, and it's not sad that they want to do it. I think people can do what they want to do. That's fine. It's their life, their decision. If it makes them happy, then they should do it. But the sad part is that people feel like they have to do it. And like, even with like their story, I mean, they act like it's a lifestyle choice, but then whenever they explain their background, it seems like this is something that was led on by financial anxiety during COVID. Right? This doesn't seem like this is an internal personal choice. Like if they had $10 million, $50 million, would this decision be the same?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think so. It would be the same question. They'd be like, well, you know, it'll happen. It's not. Yeah, I think it really boils down to selfishness more than anything else. Look, they have a nice house. They have stuff and stuff, you know. But they're just riding it out for themselves. They're having a good time. He's getting fucking piercings. Every time I look at him, he's got more piercings. Now he's got like this thing. He's got this thing right here. He's got in the ears. Are they doing this off camera where they're just putting more metal in your face? And she's just looking at him like, you fucking tool.
And I think that if you ask these people, they would probably say yeah. But for how long? And maybe they would say yeah forever. Because, of course, there's going to be people that feel that way. But I think the biggest thing that moves the needle for people...
Carbon says, I think a lot of these people use money as an excuse. Yeah, I think that's accurate. I think it's so easy to be like, well, kids are so expensive. And there's a bunch of fucking statistics out there about how much it costs to raise a kid. And then they're all like, well, you know, you'll fucking figure it out. I swear it's not that difficult. Sure, if you want to listen to statistics and be like, well, I'm just not financially in the place to have kids right now, well, then you're never going to be. You will never. Did only rich people or financially secure people have kids throughout history? No. A lot of people don't become financially stable until after they have kids. You know, that's a thing. You know, J.K. Rowling was poor as shit. She had a kid. Then she wrote Harry Potter, and now she's a fucking billionaire. I'm not saying that's going to happen to you, but I'm just saying, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. And so, like, being like, oh, it's just not the right time. You can't afford it. Well, then you're using that as an excuse. And fine, be Dinks. You be Dinks. Go ahead. Do it. I think it's a poor decision, and it's not only a poor decision for you, but it's a poor decision for all of us. Honestly, this guy seems like a fucking tool, so it's not the biggest loss in the world, but in general, maybe your son wasn't going to be such a tool. Maybe. But yeah, there's millions of people across the country doing the same exact thing. I can't do it because of money. Okay, fine. You'll figure it out. I promise you'll figure it out.
Was money. And it's also the fact that at least here in the U.S., you get almost no support if you have kids.
Carbon says straight out of Idiocracy. Look, here's the thing. In the U.S., you won't get any support from the government if you have kids. You got to do it in spite of the government. The government does not want you to have kids. This is why they're not like, you know, giving tax breaks to families with like more than 4 kids and shit, like in like Poland and stuff. You have to do that in spite of them. You have to fucking stick your thumb in their eye and have kids anyway, even though it's going to be scary and it's threatening and shit like that. And like the birth process is not like this. It's not the most comforting thing. It is kind of stressful. I'll be real with you on that. They don't want you to have kids. This is why they have a million programs fucking telling you not to have sex and, you know, not having kid, go to college, blah, blah, blah. Do it in spite of them. Do it in spite of that. Hey, Feral Pigeon. Right. $10. Newer to your actual show, John. I'm enjoying it. Thank you, Feral. I appreciate that.
At least compared to what you get in certain places in Europe. So yeah, it's not a surprise that people aren't having kids. And it's also a big problem is you look at it from the idiocracy perspective. It's the people that are financially literate that aren't having kids because they realize, holy fuck, we don't have the money for this. Meanwhile, you've got Cletus and fucking, some his girlfriend named Cadillac that have 9 fucking kids.
I do see that, right? You go to a trailer park and they'll have fucking 5 kids in a trailer and shit like that. And they'll be like, whatever, we figured it out. Yeah, well, they did. They're living in a trailer and shit like that. They didn't have dick for money. They figured it out. And this guy's telling me, well, we're not financially in the place and stuff like that. Shut up. You're a coward. You're a chicken shit coward. And you're scared of the birth. And you're scared of, actually having a real responsibility. A real solid responsibility in your life because your entire fucking life has been getting piercings and growing your hair out. Right? So, fuck you, you coward piece of shit. You do have the ability. Get a smaller house. Get a smaller piece of property. Shut up. Look at this place. It doesn't seem like a dump. Okay? You go to a trailer park and there's a cadre of kids just spilling out of the door and they're running off and having a great time and they're happy. And then their parents come out, probably drunk or something like that, and they're the happiest people you'll ever meet. And you're just going to wallow in your neat nest and collect your keyboards and just sicken me. Gross. Feral Pigeon with another tenner. Thank you so much. It's not that they don't have money. They just don't want to sacrifice anything. She's absolutely right. She? Doesn't matter. You're absolutely right. They don't want to sacrifice anything. They don't want to risk anything. There is a huge risk in having kids. You know how much worry goes through your mind and your heart and shit like that? Like, I hope this kid doesn't come out retarded. I hope they're okay. I hope my wife doesn't die during childbirth and shit like that. And you always see these things in the media and stuff like that just intensifies this anxiety. And it's not like that. I mean, yeah, sure, you're going to worry, but the chances of that actually happening are insanely slim. And not insane. They're fairly, I don't know exactly how slim they are. I don't usually see it. I never, it's fear. It's fear of the unknown, right? It's fear of growing up and actually becoming a man, an actual man. He's afraid. And they're both afraid. Because if he's afraid, then she's afraid. He has to lead the fucking relationship. He has to lead his family and stuff like that. And he just sits there and he cowers in front of his computer being like, look at my fancy fucking keyboard. Well, fuck you, dude. Fuck you and your gay little your gay fucking piercings everywhere. I don't know. Fuck that guy. Anyways, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining me tonight. I hope you guys think about what I say, and I hope you enjoyed, and, thanks for being new to the show, Feral, and I hope, you guys stick around. Have some more talks with me. See if we can navigate our way through life. Life is scary. It's anxiety-inducing, and it is, we don't know what's going to happen. We never know what's going to happen. That's the fun of it. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for coming. I will see you tomorrow night at the same time and the same place. And, of course, I'll be on Daywave. And please hit the like button on your way out. And, again, I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Until then, be safe, be awesome to each other, drink a lot of water, get a good night's sleep, and take care of yourselves because I care about you too. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Good night.
I'm an incredible soul, unhinged and enraged like a bulldog's fierce growl. I'm spitting fire, burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster too, government lies, they're feeding me their goo. I'm diving deep into this rabbit hole, uncovering the truth, setting fire to their control. I got small nipples, but my voice is loud, roaring like thunder in this crazy crowd. They say I'm crazy, but I call it woke, unraveling the madness with every word I spoke.